Today we're going to be working on this flash drive that a customer mailed into us. A customer stated that there was actually physical damage to the head of the drive, basically where it connects to the computer here. That would be a true statement. If you kind of look at it from the side, you can see that it's bent there. It looks even better under the microscope. You can see it's really bent there. And it's actually a little bit loose. I can just wiggle it off there. So we do tons of these. It's a common issue where somebody plugs the drive in and then it snaps off, or maybe a dog jumps on it, or a kid rips it out, or the laptop falls off the table. Lots of different reasons can cause this, but no worries. Here at XiRepair, we can fix this. We're very versed at fixing these. We get thousands of them mailed into us every year. So first thing we're going to do is actually disassemble this. So we're going to take off carefully the clip here, and then we're actually going to take apart the plastic part. So you can see underneath the scope here, I'm just separating that. Oh, and wow, look at that. It was just not even connected at all. It was just hanging in there by the plastic. Alright, so customer needs data off this one. And they've instructed us to actually repair this. So first thing we do is just visually inspect it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit better here and switch my camera views for you guys. So you can see here on the board, there's no physical damage other than the missing USB port, which is just going to need to be resoldered on. The NAND here looks good. Everything else looks good on this. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to actually put this in our clamp here. And then here is our head. So this head, you can see it basically tore off with the entire board, which is pretty crazy. So we really don't have to worry about this portion of the PCB being connected. There's nothing necessarily important here. These are just these little holes, and let me point specifically to what I'm discussing. These holes here are just legs for the USB port to sit into. If anything, they just act as a ground. There's no data connection in these. We can also tell that from the lines on the board. We have here, and then here, and in here, but you can see the white line kind of stops here, and nothing should be broken. This one looks fine. There's a little exposed copper there, but that should just be the ground on the board. This should be like one big ground pad. So what we're going to do is actually flip this over, and we're going to solder this onto here just like this. So I'm going to first add some flux. Just like that. Now I'm going to have to do this with my left hand, and I'm not left-handed, so my soldering will probably not be as well. And each one of these legs will just be reconnected like so. And fortunately for this one, we didn't really need to add much solder in the process. But we're going to add a little bit more just to strengthen this connection, since there's really not much holding this down. So we have pretty solid connections here, but we really want to make this strong as possible so that it doesn't break again when we connect it. These pins alone are not meant to be the only thing that holds this together. All right. And the last thing we're going to do there is kind of just turn it up on its side, zoom out a little bit, and make sure that solder didn't climb up. That could short it if the solder were to climb up the pads and actually touch this metal up here. So we want to make sure that never happens, which in this case it's perfectly fine. So we have successfully resoldered this USB head temporarily, at least enough We've resoldered this head at least enough to get it reconnected to the computer. You can see here it's a little bit at an angle, and that's okay. Essentially soldered back to the board, enough to actually allow us to connect this to the computer and get the customer's data off of it. So next thing we're going to do is actually remove this from our jig here, and we're actually going to bring this over to our computer and plug it in. Alright, so we've got our computer screen hooked up here, and now we have the customer's flash drive with the new USB port head connected. I'm actually going to plug this into a USB port here, being very careful as I do so. And let's see if it connects. So it read. Oh, look at that! Look at that! That's what I want to see. Oh, perfect. So you can see here we've got all of the customer's data. So the first thing we want to do is immediately actually export all of this data off of the flash drive, because although we fixed this issue, especially on these older flash drives, we never know if there's going to be other issues with the drive. So we are going to copy this entire drive, and we are actually going to export this to a backup drive that we have here on this computer that will store this securely. And then once we've exported this data here, once we've actually exported the data here to our known good hard drive and we have a good backup of all of the data that was on this drive, we'll call the customer and let them know that we were successfully got all their data back. And then we will also go ahead and put this data onto a new flash drive and send this back to the customer. So really happy for another successful repair here at XiRepair. If you need your flash drive repaired, hard drive, computer, laptop, etc., or you have data that you need recovered, give us a call at 334-777-1234, or better yet, go to our website at XiRepair.com. And you can actually click on the data recovery section of our website and fill out this form to get a free quote for your flash drive data recovery or other type of data recovery. We fixed and recovered data from over 35,000 devices, and we'd be happy to do yours today. So, thanks for watching, guys.